Earth as a singular planet. In fact, it is anything but. For this is a story not of a universe, but a multiverse, where universes and planets, such as Earth, were replicated and mirrored across a vibrating, infinite plane. Some barely different from the next. Others drastically so.
This is DC On Screen. Every week, Dave and Jason talk about the multiverse of DC properties on film and television. But be warned, if it's been officially released, you can expect they'll spoil it.
Poor wireless connection. Okay, we're live.
Oh,
Looks
we're
like
live.
Okay, cool. All right.
Oh, there's a notification telling us we're live.
That's nice. Welcome into DC On Screen. Podcast that talks about the DC Universe properties on film and television. This has been a long time coming. I couldn't even tell you what episode number this is. I'm pretty excited. We have just seen Justice League. I'm your host, David C. Robertson. This is my co-host, Jason Goss. And this is our first time live. For the audio listeners, you can pop over to Facebook and check this out on a video. It'll post as a video. We're live right now on Facebook. But it'll be in the normal feed as you listening to the feed know currently. We're pretty nervous. This is going to be weird. This is going to be super weird because we have no idea how we do this live. We've never done this live before. Nope. But we've seen Justice League. We're going to start off. Someone says immediately, was Superman in it? We'll get to that. Let's do a spoiler.
There should be a spoiler-free one.
We're going to do a spoiler-free review first.
Also, hello, Suzanne.
Yes, hello, everyone. So, right out of the gate.
Ooh, Brian has a good question.
We're going to get to that.
That's a really good question.
All right. So,
Leslie joining in. All right.
The characters are amazing in this thing.
This is spoiler-free, right?
Spoiler-free.
Okay.
Spoiler-free right up front.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they finally got the characters just really close. Just right there. I feel like it's there. I really do.
It's as close as I've ever seen it. I don't know if anyone disappointed me on that.
Mm-hmm.
Like Superman.
Yeah,
there's hope again.
Look,
there's finally hope again.
I want to say, I don't consider it a spoiler that Superman is in this film because he's in like all the banners.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, not all the banners, but several of the banners
silhouetted
that popped
in the banners.
Yeah. Okay. So Superman was great.
We'll call that our semi-spoiler for the
this.
All right. So the semi-spoiler.
Yeah.
Is Superman feels hopeful. Batman felt like the closest live iteration I've ever seen to BTAS.
Absolutely.
Flash felt like a wonderful amalgamation of Barry Allen and Wally West.
Absolutely.
And
he was fantastic.
Wonder Woman stepped up.
I mean, she was already on that pedestal.
Yeah, but I'm using specifically that terminology because like her arc during this.
Chris Wisdom said we're doing great so far. Thanks, bud.
Thanks.
We're
learning.
We're learning. We're trying. Help. All right. Yeah. What? Yeah. Everybody was great. Everybody was great.
Oh, Brian. I don't know. We'll get to that too.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm afraid to actually say that this was a good movie because the reviews have taught me to fear that idea. But damn it, it was a good movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
current, I guess, what was it, 37% on Rotten Tomatoes can go suck a dick? Because that's not even
true.
That's not
accurate at all. And we've gone into in detail how Rotten Tomatoes is a flawed system.
Sure.
Because, like, I think it's at the 7 out of 10 mark.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes pass-fail.
Yeah, something like that.
Literally, like,
yeah.
I might be off a little bit, but seriously, the...
Yeah, you're damn right Affleck did Batman right, Johnny.
Yeah, he did. Like, really, like, it's... There are going to be some reviews that try to dissuade you. Do not believe them.
Yeah, just go see it for yourself. Like, there's... some of the reviews that have been mentioned, or a lot of the reviews said that it seems like two different movies. I didn't really feel that. Like,
Although, strangely, I did understand where they were coming from finally.
A little bit, but well, let me just say, it does feel like Joss did a lot more work than we were led to believe. Those were pretty substantial.
Well, depending on which report you followed, like some people, yeah. I think it ended up being somewhere between the people who said Joss Whedon redid it and the other people that said, oh, this is normal, everyone does this, blah 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 blah. Stay through the credits, Tim.
Stay through the credits.
Absolutely.
All the way through.
Do not leave.
Yeah.
Actually, all right. So there's one very quickly, then go pee, then stay through the credits.
Right. You'll be good.
By the way, at some point there's a guy whose last name is like M. Just amused me. You'll see that if you get back in time.
I don't think I saw that.
It was like.
Is that spoiler? Is that a spoiler?
No, it's just
a name in the credits. Is that a spoiler?
Yeah. Well, I suppose it is. Yeah. Technically. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't even see what division he was working in, but the last name amused me.
Yeah. So okay.
How much non-spoilery talk do we? Oh, I was going to ask you this question at some point.
Right.
This was my prepared question for when we were talking.
Okay.
Is this the moment we hit the reset button?
Absolutely not. Hey, I have no interest in seeing
absolutely
any other iteration right now of these characters.
This is like, all right, we talked about at some point like Dawn of Justice meaning. I know you went through a dark point. There's always like it's darkest before the dawn. We were talking about all those metaphors before, and this is I think finally it. I think finally the moment where we're back. I mean, Wonder Woman was its own source of hope. Mm-hmm. It was fantastic, inspirational, the whole thing. That was a solid film. Suicide Squad, we'll get there. But it wasn't hopeful. It was a fun thing. It was entertaining, but it wasn't hopeful. There was no like hint that you might see a Justice League or an S symbol that actually gave you any hope. This finally like got to the point where it was. I feel good.
Yeah, I feel really good about this. Everything. Okay. I'm gonna get into spoiler territory soon. I'll say the story. About midway point in the story, I kind of went, this is all happening too quickly. And then by the end, I was like, this is not happening quickly. This is perfect.
This actually paced itself out.
Yeah, it was actually pretty well done in that regard. Yeah. And the most damning thing about the entire situation is, I really kind of would have loved to have seen that longer cut and the Snyder version, which I don't feel like we necessarily completely got. Mm-hmm. But hey WB, if you want to put it out on Blu-ray, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna buy it. In going into this film, I was really annoyed because I told you earlier, like, oh, what are they gonna hawk to me now? Like, what? what thing are they going to show me 90% of and be like, what do you want to pay for the 10?
Yeah,
I get it.
You want that 3-hour cut, guys? Come on. Chris, we're gonna get to that. Chris Morris says, I saw it tonight, love it. That's amazing. Oh gosh, you know what? We might have to pull something up here in a second. But anyway, when we get to the spoiler section. But all
right, Chris, I think you might be right in the middle, man.
Yeah. Chris Morris.
Also, Chris Morris. Absolutely.
The studios can really mess things up. Remember, we're doing this as audio as well, so our audio people can't hear us.
Yeah.
Yes, there's Superman. Yes. We got people just asking, is Superman?
I feel bad spoiling that because anyone who doesn't want to know. But if you're asking us, then yes.
I feel like
Superman.
There's been adequate advertisement that spoils the fact that Superman is there.
We know. There are some details about it that we'll get into in a second.
All right, so
should we go and get into it?
Okay, well, before we get to the spoilers, what do you think you'd rate this? I think 7.5 maybe out of 10.
87%.
Really? It's pretty high.
It's an initial take, but yeah, 87%.
Man, I mean, I'll be honest. One of the bigger things that people talk about in this movie is that Steppenwolf isn't a great villain, and he's not.
No, he's not. But he's not.
And he's
stock.
He's stock. His CGI was markedly bad.
Markedly bad.
I'm kind of like, it's one of those things where I'm like, look, dude, Steppenwolf in the comics didn't look like he had any of that shit on. Like, he just looked like a dude with a goatee.
Also, Steppenwolf in the comics is stock.
Absolutely. He absolutely is. Like, when they announced
we'll get into the details of it if you want to. But like,
yeah, we will. But when they announced that Steppenwolf was going to be the villain for this movie, I kind of went, why?
There's no interesting backstory there. But again, don't watch the film and think, well, there's no interesting backstory. They're not going to invent a new thing. Like, Jack Kirby did enough. You just take that and you apply it to a universe where you need Superman. And you got your story. Just walk away.
But, you know, ultimately I think it worked because it was prelude to something bigger, which of course would be Darkseid. So is Superman in most of the movie? No. I would say
40. I'll say 40%.
Could you tell the difference between Snyder's work and Whedon's work?
Absolutely.
Yes. I think you could. But they've given him a screenplay credit, so most of the thing feels like it's a Whedon script.
Yeah.
It looks like a Snyder film, feels like a Whedon script.
Yeah. Well put.
I would say.
Well put.
Brian Green, a new Steppenwolf would be weak. Bring on Brainiac or Vandal Savage. You know, after Legends of Tomorrow, I don't want to see Vandal Savage ever again.
That has spoiled him a little bit. It's a good villain that has been recently portrayed poorly. Weakly, I'll say.
Yeah.
And bring on Brainiac, I can get behind.
I can do Brainiac.
He did well in Injustice 2. I enjoyed him there.
So, I think if you don't want to hear any more spoilers or any spoilers, you should go and check out the movie. It's definitely worth your cash.
Wally, I'll answer you in just a second.
Yeah.
Was there a hint to Darkseid? We'll answer you just after we get over the spoiler part.
Well, I mean, the parademons in themselves and Steppenwolf are a hint to Darkseid. Mm-hmm. There were hints of Darkseid in BVS. All right, so getting into the spoiler section, go watch this movie, people. All right, so spoiler section. I cried at least 3 times in this stupid movie. Like, this movie made me cry. Jason did great as Aquaman. Jason did fantastic as Aquaman. Everybody did a fantastic job. I'm
leaning in, by the way, to see what someone's writing.
Yeah, I understand, man. That's what you have to do. And I hopefully
Chris Wisdom, is that which dollar mark are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I didn't see that.
Sorry about the round table.
Sorry, man. I gotta work. Gotta pay to go see these movies.
That is an unfortunate side effect.
Yeah, they're really expensive. I don't know if you know that. I'm sure you know that. I don't know what your financial situation is. For me, they're expensive.
This is a labor of love.
Yeah. So, spoiler section. Oh God, Superman was amazing. Like, yes, he had the uncanny valley mouth. I don't fault this movie at all. Like, I don't know how you get around that. Paramount's being a dick. They're being a dick about Star Trek 4, and they're being a dick about Henry Cavill's mustache. But, you know, whatever. There was really, I don't think there was anything they could have done to get around that. Steppenwolf was markedly bad. Please just start doing practical. There were a couple of shots, I'll be honest, where I'm like, my lord, that's CGI. Alfred standing on that platform when the thing comes down with the... Okay, please just give me models.
Of all things, there was one Amazonian that Steppenwolf just tosses, and I thought, oh, that was just a blur. That she was nothing but an after effect. That was nothing. But in all fairness, the movie was like 80% CGI, and 75% of it looked good.
Yeah,
like really good.
It's
just that a certain percent of it stands out. Mm-hmm. And, that's where we are.
Brian Green is asking, was Ezra Miller a better Flash than Grant Gustin? No, but not worse. Like, they're
honestly,
both great.
I think he was the same. I think he was the same Flash.
I don't even think they were. I wouldn't say he was the same Flash.
No, well, my argument is this. It was like taken entirely differently. But I think they took the same kind of character. Like they took the same pieces of Barry Allen and built them and just let Grant and Ezra do different things with them.
Yeah.
But even the music mimicked the show.
It actually mimicked the show a little bit, and it felt just a little bit, not like a full-on theme like some of the other characters got, but it felt like the old Danny Elfman Flash theme, a little bit. Which, I mean, how do you do a Flash show but like just rapid succession? Like, I mean, how do you not? I
know, you just.
By the way, Danny Elfman's score was amazing for this thing.
Oh God, it was good. I giggled. All right, here's the first one I wanted to mention.
Yes, Chris, the first time, the bad effects were really bad. Yeah.
Yes, they were.
The bad ones were bad.
The bad ones were bad. The good ones were good. In all fairness, and all the things we'll be defending about this movie, and I'm sure there'll be plenty.
Yeah.
The CGI is not one of them. That had a lot of room for improvement.
No, but we watched the CW shows, so we're okay with bad special effects. I'm an old school Star Trek guy and Doctor Who guy. Well, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. God, I felt like I've waited my entire life to watch Barry and
Superman
race.
Yes.
Oh my
God. Okay, the scene where he's like fighting the entire league and like Barry comes running behind him and he just like looks at him and Barry's like, "Oh shit." You know,
when his iris is turned out. Oh, that's amazing. And you see like fear.
Yeah.
Just affront Ezra's face.
Yeah.
Oh, it was good.
Oh my gosh. It's so fantastic.
All right, the first scene, like the first real scene in the movie.
Yeah.
Was like the most BTAS thing I've ever seen on screen.
Yeah.
That was like him flipping around the water tower and everything.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. That was the coolest Batman scene I've ever seen. And I'm including the BVS scene where that was the best Batman fight scene that has ever been recorded.
It still is, though.
It is still the best
That's
Batman
still the best
fight
Batman
scene.
Yeah, because, well, I mean, Batman, you know.
Taking out a room of like 22 armed people is like, that's the kind of thing that like if I was playing an Arkham game, I'd be super intimidated by like, oh my God, they're all armed. Looking up at like L1 detective vision.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
man.
That was incredible. But that one scene with that one parademon, the only thing that bothered me was he just like he left that one guy on the roof.
Yeah. Well, I think he was just kind of a low-level criminal. He just wanted to scare the crap out of him. So
he had like a rucksack of crimes hanging around.
Batman's got bigger fish to fry this time around.
He clearly did. It just didn't. That was the one where I was like, that didn't fit Batman-y.
I like to think the guy was like, well, I kind of got out of that one. He turns around, there's just Nightwing, just like, nope.
In this universe, especially with Chris Terrio all over the credits, you keep thinking, I feel like I know who took care of that one. Somebody in red, green, and yellow just grabbed that goat. Now, speaking of not Batman-y, I felt like they not only doubled down, but middle fingered everyone who ever said Batman doesn't use guns.
He had like nothing but guns in this movie.
He literally pulls up and says like, "Sorry guys, I didn't bring a sword," and starts shooting everything.
Yeah.
And then later acquires a gun.
If Avengers taught us anything,
shooting everything.
If Avengers taught us anything, it's okay to kill as long as it's aliens.
All right, look.
Unless
agree on this.
Unless they're both Kryptonian.
That's fair. We can usually agree on this point. If it's alien invaders, might be okay to kill them.
Oh, Bale or Affleck? I'm going Affleck, man.
Going Affleck right now.
Affleck. How many stars out of 5?
No reference to Joker, I'm sorry.
Actually, you know what?
Did you catch one?
Okay, so...
There's an obvious Penguin reference, but you've seen that in the
obvious
trailers.
penguin reference. But when the guy goes to get Lex, the guard goes to get Lex, and turns him around, and he's laughing maniacally, and then the next scene, Lex is talking about how we've got to have a league of our own.
You wondered if there was a connection.
Dude, the Joker's got to be in that league.
That's fair.
There's no way he's not being... And we didn't even... I don't even think we reported on it, but Joe Manganiello was wearing a shirt a couple of months ago that just said Legion of Doom.
We did
for
not.
God's sake.
Because, where we've left it in the coverage, Manganiello's just kind of...
Well, that question is answered.
I don't know. It's the same thing like Luthor. Eisenberg was...
Eisenberg was on point as Luthor.
Well, he was great.
I thought he was great.
But he was persona non grata in the media. Mm-hmm. Like they were down with him.
Yeah,
he was cut. It was fine. The reshoot said we were done, and then there he was.
Yeah.
I even like that one little silhouette with the ribbon flaring. I can oh my god.
Yeah. So I was super excited to see Deathstroke. I was super I was told like that second end credit scene was going to be like killer. I figured it was going to be like a Darkseid thing, so I was kind of bummed out about that. So I was like, I'd rather see Darkseid later. I don't really necessarily want to see it right now.
Well, I think the film like tells you overall like he's talking to Mother the entire time.
Yeah,
like there's clearly a greater presence than him. Like he gets taken away because he failed on what must seem to them a very minor mission. So the idea that there's a greater presence and a greater evil seems to me like I don't even need that in the stinger.
I'm sorry. This is spoiler section. I can't believe I haven't mentioned it. We saw a freaking Green Lantern.
Oh God, yeah. Sorry.
We saw a Green Lantern.
Green Lantern.
Oh,
hey, and I don't even know how many other people.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, it was a ton of like gods and Amazons.
That almost looked like an early Shazam that does the.
Well, I think that was Zeus.
Was it Zeus? Oh,
Zeus was credited. Zeus. Yeah, Zeus was credited. Actually, Thulis was in the credits.
Oh God, all the old gods came in. Yeah,
it was all the old gods. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh shit.
So, I mean, that was from Wonder Woman where they were talking about the.
You're right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. There we go.
The Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman, absolutely. Sorry, we can't get everybody in here. We can't get everybody in.
We're trying.
Thank you for the Green Lantern spoiler. Yeah. Hey, man. What?
I hate to spoil anything, but yes.
Well, we're in the spoiler section.
I know.
It's okay.
But it's a spoiler. It's a bad word.
I said spoiler in the thing.
I know.
In the description, I said spoiler.
We're past.
I know.
We're past the moment.
I know.
I understand where we are. Seriously though, like it's 2 seconds, and Van, I agree. It's like 2 seconds of Green Lantern, but it's a very rewarding 2 seconds.
And it's like an old Green Lantern. It's not like
no, it's not Hal or anything. It's actually it might be Abin-Sur.
I don't think it was Abin-Sur. It didn't look like Abin-Sur.
It didn't?
No.
It looked a little like it.
No, it didn't.
It didn't?
No, it looked like I don't know. It looked like he had like an alligator mouth or something.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
There was like half a second with him. But
there was like
very
little.
Here's the cool
All
part.
I saw was like a ring coming off of his finger and flying away.
That's the cool part. Is like you see, this is what I'm hoping pays off later. Yeah. Is you see the ring flies off and Steppenwolf looks at it with like a little bit of almost like childlike wonderment, like what new fresh hell is this? And like even he's a little confused. Oh, Kyle Rayner, I wish
it was Kyle Rayner. That was my GL. That was one I really grew up with.
I agree.
It was some rando Green Lantern as far as I could tell. And
a certain old wizard. Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I kind of wish that was like an old Shazam.
Yeah,
I was wrong.
So, what else we got? Everybody was fantastic. We already mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little, I kind of felt like, I don't know, it was weird that one little family... Wonder Twins. Yeah, right. I felt like it was a little weird that like one
Wonder
family...
Trio?
that like one family who was like exiled or like living out in the middle of whatever, next to the power plant. And that was a little weird that like they focused on them so heavily, but I guess like they got kids. It makes sense to kind of
there's
be like
a human element. The little girl was very engaging.
I thought it was a brave choice. Like a lot of these movies really focus on doing stuff like having like just hordes of screaming people running around. We didn't really get that. We just got like one family to care about. And the parents are kind of dicks because they're like, stop playing with that thing. Stop trying to better things.
Go screw yourself, man. You enjoyed the movie.
Yeah. Chris just called us giddy little something. I couldn't read it.
Schoolboys.
Oh, schoolboys.
Is Brian Greene is cyborg CGI overused? Yes, of course it is.
Yes,
He's gonna have to be. Like since Terminator needed not his entire arm.
Which, to be fair, and not to spark any kind of debate or anything.
What is Gleek? Hold on, Brian Wilmoth.
Oh, what is Twins? It's the monkey.
Oh, God, okay.
Monkey.
All right,
little blue monkey.
All right.
Was he blue?
Sorry, Brian.
Or maybe I'm missing. Maybe I'm remembering a Hanna-Barbera monkey. I don't. Space
Let
Ghost.
Bad Brian. No, not overused.
I think the CGI on Cyborg was a little overused. But I'm a practical effects guy.
Not necessarily overused. Like, the character itself had to be there, I think, when he had to be there.
But, yeah, well, that's not my point. My point is, I prefer practical over CGI. And, I don't, like I said, like I was about to say, I don't want to spark, like, a Marvel versus DC thing, but I kind of feel like those are overused. Like, we saw the Black Panther trailer before this, and I'm, like, looking at him going, that's completely CGI. Like, he's standing there talking. He could have been in a suit. So Iron Man, completely they overuse his CGI. Ever since Favreau knew when to do it. But you know what? It didn't hurt my enjoyment of the movie. In fact, it may have augmented it because I was like, yeah, that's bad. But
you were super engaged.
Grab it where you can.
Yeah.
Damn, it was a good movie.
Enjoy it.
It was good. I don't know what this 37% on Rotten Tomatoes is. The last time I checked is what that was. And, Jeremy Irons is great in his scenes. Plural.
That's fair.
He's in multiple scenes. He gets way more screen time than J.K. Simmons, which J.K. Simmons was fantastic. Everybody was fantastic in this thing.
That's a good comment, Chris.
Yeah.
Definitely needed polish, but Cyborg is good sauce.
Yeah, Henry or Reeves.
That's fair.
I don't want to compare these guys because, quite honestly, this is a different flavor. I mean, how do you say? Oh, this is Chris Reeves is like Christian Bale was his Batman. I didn't care for his Batman as much, but Christian Bale was a Batman all of his own.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck is a Batman all of his own. Yes, it's closer to the comic books. Christopher Reeve was a Superman all of his own. And Henry Cavill was doing a fine job as he has been written. And I thought he was probably my favorite on-screen Superman as of this movie.
That's fair. I do feel like this... It was again, and I loved the little camera phone thing at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Just the simple little camera phone thing at the
That
beginning.
was the most damning Uncanny Valley mouth, though.
It
that
was the worst one.
Like, why would you start your movie out with the worst one?
with the worst reshoot you could do. I think they did that though on purpose in a way. Like, let's just actually shoot it with an iPhone because you could get everything you got with an actual iPhone. Yeah. And
but then again, how do you like personify like a hopeful, happy Superman except to have a bunch of kids like recording him and talking like, "Oh, Superman!" And I'm like, I'm not going to brush you off. I'm not going to be Super Dick. I'm going to be Superman. Look at my blue outfit. Look at the red highlights. Mm-hmm. I'm Superman. That was great. That was just fantastic.
Just loved it. Even him explaining the river thing. What do we got?
Any chance of Nightwing showing up in the future from Brian Greene? Well, I mean, okay, I'll be honest. If you listen to our show, DCOnScreen.com, shameless plug, but there it is. We talk about this stuff all the time. Chris McKay is currently going to be the one directing Nightwing. He hasn't cast him yet, but a Nightwing movie is out on that very much in development.
Their agent's being called right now about Nightwing, I promise.
Morris says, I know at the end he had the circle on his suit. Yes. Dude, Cyborg totally, like, I don't know what the hell he was to begin with. He looked kind of cyborgy, but he totally looked like Cyborg at the end of that. In that one shot when he was, like, reconstructing, he totally looked like Cyborg.
That's the thing that, like, this film is going to get a lot of criticism for.
Not the old Teen Titans Cyborg, because that would have been bad.
It's not even...
Don't put him in the metal wife beater.
Yeah, it's not... I think I have that up there.
Yeah, he's up there.
So, and then the back of that one too. It's not like they did a thing at the end of this movie that it's going to get criticism because for some people it's going to seem like it's apologetic, and for some people it's going to seem trite and almost like saccharine. It's gonna seem too placating, is my point. But at the end of this movie, they turned all these characters into the people we love.
Yeah,
like,
which was always the promise. But
I think that was the overall narrative. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that like 5 years ago the plan was at this exact moment to do that.
No. And I
am not that naive.
Proof of that is that Zack Snyder picture where Zack drew all the Justice League, and they're all frowning, like looking sad. And I was like, yeah, that's what you're about. That is. I like Zack Snyder. I
get it.
But
I
damn,
like,
come on.
I kind of I like his stuff, but I also like where it's gone. So
I'm
anyway,
not sure what you mean by extra scenes, Brian. I'm sorry. By the things that weren't in the trailers? Yes, they are worth going to see.
oh, the stingers.
Oh, the stingers. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Go check that
absolutely.
out.
Still don't think.
This doesn't feel like Green Lantern Hawk without. Well, look, you know, a lot of people say that Green Lantern, Hawk Girl was one of the original, and she wasn't one of the original. It just depends on where you came in on Justice League. Like for me, you know, it feels
Carter
a little.
was more original than Hawk Wasn't it?
Yeah, Hawkman was Justice Society, but I think Hawk Girl was maybe in there. I don't. Gosh, I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah, I really would.
God. But you know, I think it just really depends on where you came in on the fandom. For me, like my first Flash proper was Wally West. My first Green Lantern proper was Kyle Rayner. When I first really got into it, it was Grant Morrison run on 97. Like I was a Batman fan way before that. I knew about all these other cats, but I didn't really get like deep into the mythos as far as like the Justice League and the expanded DC universe beyond Batman until like, it was like
Didn't
12
really
or
go
13.
all Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah, I got already, you know, read like Dark Knight Returns and all that shit, but
Sure, absolutely.
I don't mean shit like bad. I mean, yeah, but I don't need that flack in my life, you know? I don't need that flack. But
We'll have enough. We'll have enough just having liked this film.
yes, Alfred made a mention of the Penguin at the beginning of the film, and it was amazing.
He did. It was great. That was in the trailers. I was prepared for it, but it was like I didn't want that to.
Yeah.
I was prepared also for things being
Yeah.
cut out, and that wasn't.
In all honesty, yes, I miss Martian Manhunter being a part of this thing. Yes, I did miss Green Lantern being a proper part of the league, but you know.
Jonathan, I like Supergirl, Martian Manhunter. If you're referring to the show, absolutely, I do too.
Absolutely.
They're one of the
John
best
Jones.
parts of that.
And you know, one of the biggest issues I had with the show, which he just always looks like his human form. They actually just said they
fixed that for you entirely.
It's our custom to look like the people that are hosts or whatever. I'm like,
Absolutely.
yes, finally, finally, I can
Not
stop.
tied.
They
Loose
can-
strings
they can
accounted for.
Stop stabbing me in the brain. But
And he slept that night.
oh, thank you, man. This is our first video. Brian Green says I'm going to keep watching your podcast. You guys are great. Keep up the good work, fellas. We are an audio, mostly an audio only podcast. This is our first video we're doing as far as actually doing a video and the podcast at the same time. So
Johnny?
yeah, I
Agree.
I'd love to do more of these, but that's up to Jason. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't want to put that ball in his court. But, yeah, it was good.
It was good.
The Amazons were badass. They were so
genuinely
fantastic.
good.
They were so fantastic. Like, those Amazons holding up the gate.
They were just badass, like self-sacrificing soldiers. It was
great.
It was fantastic. Like,
It was great.
They acted in a way that a bunch of people that were trained to be soldiers would act.
Yeah.
It was very validating.
Yeah.
Like, of course, the Amazonians have that kind of loyalty and
Absolutely.
credence.
Yeah.
Of course they do. Oh, it was good.
It was pretty fantastic.
It was just good.
What else is there to say?
Wayne, yeah, I think so. I really do.
The
That's
movie,
to see for yourself,
look,
man.
It's a 7.5 for me out of 10. You know, I think it's that because they did do some chopping. They did cut it down. Like apparently there was a studio mandate that it had to be under 2 hours. I don't know if that worked for them or not. If they do an extended release, if this makes a lot of bank, which it probably will, there we'll probably see an extended release. Who knows? I don't know. I'm buying it as soon as it happens, and you know, God help me if I'm going to have to start going. Well, watch the extended cut of BVS and Suicide Squad, but watch the theatrical cut of Justice League because I hope that doesn't happen.
No.
We've
already been through enough trials of saying like, okay, I understand you didn't like BVS.
Here are the addendums.
But please watch this version
yeah.
and then come back to me.
And you know, as an audience, absolutely, we're not part of the the bureaucracy at Warner Brothers. We didn't see the original cut. We don't know. Who knows? It may have been a total shit fest.
What was it, like 3 months ago? They were saying the studio execs, stood up and clapped. But
yeah, and the test screenings were looking like they were like Wonder Woman here recently.
Honestly, though, 2.5 years ago, they said the same about BBS.
Absolutely,
like,
they said the same.
Blah, blah,
well,
blah.
yeah, they were like, "Yay!" Now cut 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I don't know what we lost, but I have to say the film isn't incoherent.
Oh, it's not incoherent. It seems to make perfect sense to me.
I don't want to say perfect sense
I said the same thing about BBS though.
Yeah.
So you know,
like I don't want to say perfect sense because like there's a moment where you're gonna like look back and go, oh well, that doesn't make sense. But you can find that about any movie.
Yeah.
I'm just saying overall.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any less sense than any action movie that comes out in summer or late summer.
I thought it made about as much, if
Even
not
the
more.
winter. I thought it held together. I don't think there's going to be like a plot problem here.
I mean, someone might go like, well, how did Batman know about the parademons in the first place? He's Batman.
There's going to be a lot of that kind of stuff.
But they did answer where Wonder Woman was the entire time.
Yes, and actually dealt with it pretty thoroughly.
And they fixed the whole comment about she was stepped away from humanity for 100 years. So they said that she was out there helping people, but she was like shied away from the
dark.
From the limelight. She was like Batman.
She basically acted like Batman.
That's perfect. Yes, that makes sense.
Makes
I was
complete sense.
totally on board that. I was into the idea that Aquaman isn't the king of Atlantis yet, even though I really wanted that in BBS for him to just come in on the UN Council and everybody's just like, yeah, I mean. So what happened with your shit? Oh man, those world engines and Superman. I don't know what the hell that was. But did you guys feel like Mercedes paid for the reshoots? You know, I don't know.
No, just numerically no. But
I don't think. Yeah, I mean.
Well, actually, all right. Here's my Chris. All right. Categorically no, but that's because Mercedes isn't stupid enough to get in on reshoots. They got in on the shoots.
Yeah, I would say that.
They paid for...
That's probably true.
They paid up front.
Flashpoint Paradox, Wayne
Flash Paradox?
Flashpoint Paradox, yeah. I'm on board if they're,
also, Chris Morris, yeah, that car was sweet. So.
That car was awesome. Yeah. They had, like, whole...
and he had, the F1 buttons on it. Yeah, that was solid.
They had whole like
I wanted that car.
We saw more of that car in like special featurettes that they were hawking.
Oh yeah.
You can't even buy the car. It was like made specially for Bruce Wayne. I'm like, all right, yeah, okay, Mercedes, you're badasses.
Speaking of which,
advertise a car we can't even have.
How great was it to see Barry sitting in the Batmobile, just kind of just gaping at? And my favorite part of that isn't even his wonderment.
Yeah.
As he just traipses through the Batcave. It's the fact that like how long has he personally known Barry Allen at this point? Like an hour and a half?
Maybe. A couple hours, 2 or 3 hours.
And he's already accepted his personality to the point that he's like, yeah, he's gonna explore.
Yeah.
He's gonna flutter a little bit. You know what? It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, I mean, we've got like Bruce hanging out with Curry and going like, all right, so look, here's the thing. I'm Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I need your help. I don't care if you're a jackass. You're doing the right thing here, and I'm hoping that's going to carry over.
Yeah.
I'm Batman. Please don't F me over on that.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And he's even like, all right, Bruce Wayne. Everybody hear that? Yeah. Oh, God. Look at that.
So, even in the continuing universe, there's a fishing village. Not even fishing village.
Yeah.
Just a village that apparently requires fish in the winter.
Yeah.
That knows his secret.
Yeah. There's just like one like very secretive village is going, we'll never tell what we heard that day.
We got your back.
What the? Bruce went, no. I said, we'll never speak of it again.
Wayne, yes.
Yeah, Superman came back. He was awesome. It was Superman. I feel like it was Superman. It wasn't necessarily what we've seen before.
Okay, Michael Allen. I feel like the respective members did earn or buy their Mercedes. Like, All right, Bruce is super rich. He could buy a Mercedes if he wanted.
Yeah.
I like that line about he said like, "How'd you get the farm back?" And I said under my breath,
yeah.
"I bought the bank."
Yeah.
Before he said it, it was the obvious line.
Absolutely.
And I liked that they kind of like threw a lantern at it.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's kind of a reflex of mine. I just buy things when I
Right.
need them.
Right.
So, in that sense, if he wanted to, he could just buy Mercedes and throw Mercedes at the Justice League.
Yeah.
But no, I do
That's the
feel
way
like
you do that.
damn right.
All right.
But it does. I feel like Diana could probably afford Mercedes by herself. I mean, she had a seriously haughty job that probably pays a pretty fair amount.
Yeah.
I think she bought that honest.
I wonder if the people at the Louvre ever wonder why Diana's been there for so long and never ages.
I assumed it was Louvre. Did they say?
Yeah. I assumed.
I just assumed.
I'm like,
There was fancy stuff in there.
It
Yeah.
was fancy and old.
Yeah, it was fancy, old, kind of
Paris.
European. And yeah, like she was close enough that she saw the Grecian remains go up in flames.
Absolutely.
I just assumed.
So yeah. Darkseid was mentioned. Darkseid was mentioned. I'm sorry. There was that question earlier whether Darkseid was mentioned.
It was mentioned.
And his name was mentioned. And it was a fine thing. And
Which is only like a small continuation from before, where I feel like in BVS we got more of a mention. Like that Omega symbol.
Yeah, that was more of a mention than even
More of a
Darkseid's
mention
name
than-
himself. But
Yeah. They could have said Darkseid, and I would have still thought that Omega meant it
absolutely
went more.
Absolutely.
Yes, Michael, Mercedes is a hell of a recruiting tool.
I kind of want to see.
I would do a lot.
I
want
to see that union meeting. I want to see the league union meeting where like the Flash is like, well, why can't I have a Mercedes? Like, who's paying me to do all this? I mean, this is bullshit. And I mean, you're a billionaire. Come on, man. You don't have a Mercedes. Yeah, but you can run faster than Mercedes.
Why do you
That's
need a
true.
car?
That's true, but it's really dope. I know it's dope. It's okay though.
No, he's but this is like a very young Barry Allen, where he's eventually gonna have enough savvy in him, to actually say like, okay, but in my regular identity, I should probably have a Mercedes. And
there's
then
this girl I like, Iris, and I'd really like.
Here's
to be
the
able
fun
to
part
pull
though, is
the
like he's gonna
Mercedes.
say that, and Bruce is gonna go, you know what, you're right, and then get him like a 1987 Mercedes, and be like, this is what a forensic scientist could afford. You talked about fronting, and I've got you.
Yeah. Michael Allen, I loved the movie, but now I have a greater appreciation for BVS. Yes. Okay. So.
I agree.
Okay. Well,
I think
now,
this is the
someone
payoff.
asked us before. And I don't remember who it was. I'm sorry. We were in a non-spoiler section, but someone asked me before whether Lewis's monologue was basically placating the audience. Probably.
Yes. Lois.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm down with that too. I'm like, yeah, tell him. Tell him!
Yeah. That I think that was like almost a signed letter to the audiences of these films saying,
absolutely.
we have a plan.
We have a plan.
We
may have changed some stuff because you guys were kind of babies about it, but we have a plan.
I honestly think it was a mixture of we had a plan the whole time and you guys complained a lot, so
yeah.
Our plan has changed its appearance and its time, but here we are, and we hope you're all happy.
Absolutely. Which the critics are going to piss on it. I figured that, but what are you going to do? Cried when Martha saw Clark for the first time.
That was rough, in a wonderful way.
That was fantastic. I cried at the Lois monologue.
That was good.
I'm sure I cried. I think I cried someplace else, but I don't remember where it was. I'm gonna have to go back and see this thing soon. It's fantastic.
I got choked up like in the first stupid camera phone scene where he's talking about hope. I was like, that's the guy I want.
Does it say how Lex knew JL, the Justice League?
No.
Well, I mean, he had the. He's got inside people. And he had he had the info that Bruce and Diana stole in the first place on the metas.
Yeah. It doesn't.
We can't do anything without camera phones and everything, recording everything. So I'm assuming Lex Luthor is sitting somewhere in a bunker, or in this case on a yacht, going, "Yeah, all right." So they formed a little league, huh?
Yeah, but that would be coincidental. I don't...
By the way, Eisenberg was totally like proper Lex Luthor here. He wasn't doing quirky Lex Luthor.
That's actually... That's a good point. He was...
Martha...
What?
Martha C. and Clark made me question my understanding of Kansas geography. Hey, that's the standard thing. Go watch Smallville. No one knows where Metropolis is. No one.
It's by the best estimates, it's like an hour out of Gotham.
Yeah,
in a lot of cases,
either Metropolis or Smallville itself is like the friggin' island on Lost. It just moves around in quantum. And
Gotham is
flashes. I don't know.
Yeah, like Gotham is traditionally like 20 minutes south of Manhattan.
Yeah,
generally, if it's not Manhattan itself, in some cases, depending on who was doing it. But yeah, Metropolis changes.
Yeah, so it's just like Smallville's like a 2-hour ride away from. I mean, I guess you could have jumped on a plane.
It's like a 5-minute flight for him, though.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, Martha getting there. Like, you called my mom while I was out here standing in this cornfield staring. That's right, I did. What of it?
They don't mention how long she was staring.
He didn't.
What? Well, he was staring. Sorry, but
you know what's funny is when they brought him back from the dead, like there's that explosion, like his shirt burned off. I don't know how that happened. Hey, his pants didn't.
I mean, all right, the shoes go.
Right.
Presumably any hair. Errant hair.
Well, you know, in the comics, the reason his suit doesn't get all scuffed up is because they say that he has that, like, Superman aura around him. His cape gets tattered, but his suit doesn't get all ripped up, except when he fights Doomsday. But that doesn't explain this with the shirt, but, you know, no. But he's got pants, and he's...
The explosion just takes away everything but the pants.
Right.
Because explosions, even they have dignity.
All right.
Look, even if your only job is to destroy, you have to have class.
You know what? I think you should have been naked.
He was barefoot.
Naked!
What is this, PG-13 film?
Yeah.
Well, which actually used a lot of...
the PG version of BVS showed Ben Affleck's ass. Well, it's only fair.
That's fair. No, I was actually impressed by the language. Like, asshole, shit was used a lot. I was pretty...
At least they got the area code right. Hashtag it's the little things. Fantastic.
That's fair.
Fantastic.
That's good.
Let's see. Joel Smallwood says, how cool is Aquaman? Badass. Seems like they shy away from his personality in the comic books.
Ooh, yeah. No idea how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry.
Okay. They do shy away a little bit from Aquaman in the comics. I think Grant Morrison leans into him. I think Peter David leans into him. Jeff Johns leans into Aquaman a fair amount. Mark Waid is fantastic. Writing Aquaman does a fantastic job. All of those cats are great. But, you know, I think a lot of people have had a hard time figuring out how to make Aquaman cool. They did it here.
They did a pretty good job.
They did it here.
That's
a good question. Do you like this Aquaman better than the Brave and the Bold John DiMaggio Aquaman?
Oh, not better.
No, it can't be better, right?
Equally, but for different reasons.
Outrageous.
Don't give me John DiMaggio's voice and ask me if I prefer something else. Don't put that against Bender.
Right.
I can't.
That's fair.
But was this guy cool? My wife would leave me right now for Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
No question. I think she left that theater with a giant Jason Momoa crush.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean, not many men could compete with you.
But Momoa managed to strive his way up the ladder.
Yeah.
And, yeah. No, that guy was cool. I like the nose.
Yeah. I'm just visually talking to the audience because it's just starting to devolve into a Jason Momoa's hot conversation online now. But any speculation as to who the Green Lantern ring went to by Michael Allen? Well, this was like millennia ago. This was like a flashback to
5,000 years ago.
Yeah, 5,000 years ago, when Steppenwolf came the first time to fight the Atlanteans and the Amazonians.
Where apparently he got a lot of his parademons.
Yeah, so probably no speculation from me as to who that Green Lantern ring went to. That seems like some old-timey stuff that I'm not gonna... I don't know.
It does, but just for the second I saw him, it looked like Abensur, so I don't know.
Chris Wisdom, was I the only one that thought Momoa channeled, was it Maui in battle?
Oh, you mean Maui from the Pixar movie?
Oh, Moana?
Moana, thank you.
I have no idea. I haven't seen that movie. I haven't seen it. I know it's Pixar. I know that's a sin. I haven't seen it yet, though.
Actually, just the way he's swinging his axe around, I felt like he channeled the Steppenwolf more, honestly.
All right. Well,
he's got that giant hook thing. He keeps swinging it around the entire movie.
Yeah.
Bethany, you were in on this. How do you feel about it? You were in on the...
Yeah, you can come in. This is Bethany Johnson.
Hi.
She saw the movie with us, my girlfriend. What's up?
I'm saying he feels more like Steppenwolf because of the swingy axe thing and the rock.
I have not seen Moana either, which is awful because clearly I love Disney. Disney shirt, Disney jacket.
Oh, Chris Wisdom says so good. See it, you'll see the reference. You'll get the reference.
Cool. I mean, I understand as far
it was
as
a funny
tattoos
movie.
go.
I enjoyed it.
Cool.
All right.
I mean, he kind of reminded me of King Triton from Little Mermaid.
That's fair. But that was
And
not
there
his.
was
That was not his quad dip.
Good Little Merman reference in there.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Keep the merman away from me.
Yeah.
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 He doesn't get the trident proper though, apparently, until Aquaman. So
No, Momoa's
Momoa
mentioned
said.
that though. Is like we're not there yet.
yeah,
We're not there yet.
just got hair in my tongue. That's one of those things that you don't get on the audio version of the show. Me picking hair off my tongue that came from my own disgusting beard.
Oh, but the editing.
No way to edit it live, baby. Anyway,
We move forward.
I don't know. I don't know that I have anything else in this movie. I'm excited that it exists. I'm excited that it happens. It didn't feel completely like a Zack Snyder movie. It felt like a Joss Whedon-written Zack Snyder movie, which is always what I've wanted. So, what am I to complain about that? I was happy.
I was pretty happy.
And you know what?
I feel like we've got like a whirl of hate aiming at us right now for saying that we're happy with it, but
Bring
I
it.
really enjoyed it.
It was good. It was a good movie. It was fun. It was, it set up the League. It didn't need to focus on the villain, and I was fine with that.
No, that villain is no worse than...
But
Some
you know,
villains.
Kieran Hines was talking about in interviews that, oh yeah, he's enslaved to dark side and blah, blah, blah. I could have used a little more of that. I could have used a little more of...
No, I think you got it, though. Like, he is clearly not in charge of his emotions.
Yeah, no.
He is
he's
a
not.
devotee of some kind.
Yeah.
And no, thanks.
Would you like to see as members of... who would you like to see as members of the Injustice Gang Legion of Doom? Oh, shit. Black
Oh,
Manta,
God.
Deathstroke, Lex Luthor. I want the Joker because in a sequel, I love that bit in Justice League Unlimited where Joker shows up. He's like, why didn't you talk to me? He's like,
Nice.
You're crazy. I don't want you back in this group.
That's good.
I want Grundy. I want Cheetah. I want Bizarro. I want the whole gang. But you know what? If Suicide Squad 2 was Suicide Squad versus the Legion of Doom, that's what I want.
Just a little help from their friends, too.
Yeah,
Just incorporate a little help from their friends.
I'd be really super happy. I'd be super happy if there were people in the Suicide Squad who defected to the Legion.
Oh,
no shit in the neck. Don't do that again. But
We've done that.
Yeah.
But one of my first thoughts is who do you want to see in there? I kind of want to see Harley for just a second.
Yeah,
Back with their boo. and then
Right.
there's a storyline there.
Right. They're even talking about maybe there's a rumor going around that Black Adam might show up in Suicide Squad 2.
Oh, hell yeah.
Or Legion of Doom. Because now we got Legion of Doom on the table.
Why not?
Fantastic.
Any one of these people are a real possibility.
Chris Wisdom tells us, great job tonight, guys. You do more of these, or do more of these.
No.
# certified fresh. Well, talk about Rotten Tomatoes here. They're not a fan.
Poor topic. Poor topic.
We were having such a good time, Chris. Thanks for the praise, but... Oh... We don't want to talk about that binary bullshit. But thank you.
Much appreciated.
All right. I don't think I have anything else. I loved everybody in this thing. I loved Lois. I loved Martha. I loved Cavill.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons was amazing.
He didn't have a lot to do.
He didn't have a lot to do, but you know what he did?
He did it well.
A fantastic Commissioner Gordon is what he damn did.
He really did.
Even after 20 years, he's the only guy in the police department that's going like, no, he's a good guy.
Yeah. Oh, they show him the drawing of the parademons. You know what this looks like? You're telling me for 20 years he did nothing but fight crime, and then he comes back.
So Wayne Hunking says, who could you see play Green Lantern? I don't know.
That depends on the Green Lantern.
Yeah, it depends on who it would be. It really does.
It's super hard. Like, originally when they were pitching Chris Pine, I thought, I can make a decent art. That could be Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with that.
Chris Pine could do a good job, except now he's a Steve Trevor. A very dead Steve Trevor.
Very dead.
Spoilers for Wonder Woman. I don't know what the hell you're doing here, if that was your issue. But.
And if it wasn't clear enough that Chris Pine is super dead in this universe...
Like Batman mentions it like 3 times.
And gets his ass kicked because of it. It was fantastic. And I love the way he like gets up like, I'm okay. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And then like she comes back later and like feels bad about how she totally bruised the shit out of him.
When Superman like picked Batman up and said, "Do you bleed?" I was just like, yes.
This is what I'm waiting for.
And like I feel like the whole thing was just like I don't know, a middle finger to all the internet, the YouTube sketches and stuff, with Batman on the ground going, something's definitely bleeding.
Oh,
it was fantastic.
That was good.
Like they just gave the power back to Superman. Like, yes, you're a badass. Yes, you could probably take down Batman in a pinch. Don't let him plan.
Oh,
don't let him plan.
Speaking of which, let's start. Like, all right, you can probably take down
Superman. We both
Superman.
got the Superman hats on.
Yeah,
we were both looking hard for this.
I wanted my symbol of hope back.
Yeah.
Chris
Pratt would be a terrific Green Lantern, Wayne. But you know what? You know what? He's doing a fantastic job over at Marvel, as far as I'm concerned. And I just kind of, unless you're part of the Warriors 3, I'm just going to go ahead and say you're probably not going to be in a DC movie right now.
That's fair.
By the way, looking forward to Zachary Levi as Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
The original Captain Marvel. That's right, I said it. Oh no!
I was just I was so happy to see him back.
I'm not sure anybody would heard you say that.
I'm so happy to see like actual Superman back. I didn't even know what to do with myself on several occasions.
Yeah, and he was wearing blue. Then he had the red, the blue and the red. It wasn't like washed out Snyder. Anyway, okay, so. I think that's going to wrap it up. I don't know what else to say about this movie. I dug it.
I'll try to wrap it up for us. Superman's back.
This is new. You don't usually wrap things up. No, go ahead. Go for it.
I'll try.
I'm intrigued.
Well, you said wrap it up. I'll try. So, Superman's back. Superman's back, and he's the one we hoped for the entire time. Batman is... and entirely penetrable.
I sure like that word.
He is a nuanced character that is vulnerable. In a way that I related to the entire movie. I loved the fact that like he was just the human the entire movie. Loved that. Wonder Woman is back to being the source of inspiration. The one who on several occasions has said, I could swear I've seen her bit about, like, I work with boys before.
Yeah.
And,
or children.
Yeah. And it makes sense for her. Because we're talking about God, how old is she? Really?
I don't. Even Gadot has said like somewhere between 900 and 5,000. I don't
A
know.
lot?
Yeah.
She's a lot old.
Yeah.
And that part's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for her to be working with children, that makes complete sense. And oh God,
Chris Wisdom, Superman's
Lord.
back. Suck at TV's Casey. Hey, that guy's okay.
he was fine.
I like whatever Tyler Hoechlin, whatever his
Yeah.
name is. Yeah.
Actually, previous to this movie, Tyler Hoechlin was like the closest we had.
I don't know who Casey is. Maybe he plays a character named Casey on something else. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Chris, please explain that to us.
Explain, man.
Sorry, buddy. We
Help.
missed that one.
Help a brother out. Verily. Anyway. So our friend Eli
You're showing me a
Builders,
giant block of text.
I know.
Okay.
I'm gonna get through this real quick. Not that it needs to be gotten through necessarily, Eli.
It's just a giant block.
Eli Oppelders of the podcast Stealing the Remote.
Casey Strauss, it's me.
Oh,
Hey.
hey. He was talking to somebody.
Sorry.
That's nice. You guys get all over the place and talk. Community, man. Community. All right.
Oh!
This hurt my wrist.
TV's Casey, new kid. Oh, hey.
Oh, okay.
Did not realize it. New co-host of Bacon the Panel.
I'm
Cool.
behind on everything. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't have time to listen or do anything anymore. I hurt my wrist.
Oh, the sacrifices we make.
Oh, yeah. I was sure it was going to hurt my wrist a different way. But nope. Oh, okay. Eli Oppelders, host of Stealing the Remote, fantastic podcast you guys definitely should check out. Says, hey, Dave.
Casey, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry we crushed your self-esteem, Casey. You shouldn't be crushed by us. Dave and Jason went to see Justice League last night at midnight and came out as conflicted as before. I was stressing out overall I know about the production process, to be fair, so I hope to appreciate it more and more with subsequent viewings. I think you will. But it is a mixed bag. I'm not sure if it's knowing too much, but it's easy to tell apart most of what's Whedon's reshoots. Yeah, age we live in, man. I'll admit to being an immense fan of BVS and Snyder's takes on more serious scripts, so that might add to my lack of excitement at the studio demanding a lighter tone. A lot of the humor just falls flat for me anyway, but it mainly costs time that could have been spent on fleshing out the plot of a movie that feels like it's rushing to stay under 2 hours. I thought WB would have learned something about studio interference from Suicide Squad. They'll never learn that lesson because movie studios are movie studios. There's a reason that Edgar Wright left Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm. Although I think they did learn their learn their lesson on trailers.
Yeah,
that was the big thing.
Yeah, it does look like they learned their lesson on trailers.
Like the last half of the movie actually feels like something you haven't seen.
Yeah. Well, because with every release,
you've seen parts of it.
With every release, the studio goes, "Oh, but we learned our lesson from the last time."
Sure. They learned the right lesson at the right time. I feel like for my enjoyment of this movie.
Yes, I would agree with that for the most part. There's a reason it's not a 9 out of 10 for me. I mean, it's got a couple of little flaws in it, but little points that I could really bitch about.
It's flawed as any action movie, I think, but
yeah. Where was I? Most problematic is that most editions revolve around doing Wonder Woman a disservice. Their cheap laughs either continue to intimidate everyone present wants to do her. Intimate?
Everyone present wants
continue
to do her or
intimate everyone present wants to do her or downright objectifying her. I didn't see that, but okay.
Yeah, there are a lot of Wonder Woman's hot references in thing.
Yes, when Aquaman was sitting on the lasso of truth, which was phenomenal.
Well, and Flash has that small moment where, like... Alright, there actually is a lot. Like, Alfred intimates that Bruce has some underlying attraction to Wonder Woman, but is equally divided between you could see it that way or him actually objectifying her skill set.
Well, see, I wouldn't think it was objectifying anybody. It's just that Alfred knows Bruce He knows what kind of women Bruce are attracted to for realsies, not just...
He actually knows Bruce.
Yeah, he just knows Bruce. And, the Wonder Woman Bruce thing has been a thing in the comics, has been a thing on the animated series. And it's not because she's hot, it's because they're both freaking badass, and
No.
I totally ship them sometimes.
I don't think it's a matter of, like, they go too far with it at all. It just, there's Aquaman's hilarious scene. Mm-hmm. And there's the mention before with Bruce that's a little shaded. Mm-hmm. And then there's the visual joke with Barry where he actually, like, saves her from the falling rubble, but
mm-hmm.
like he's on top of her for half a second.
Yeah.
Like, just enough that she kind of half notices that.
Uh-huh.
But the funny part is that, like, he looks awkward about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, the joke is that he looks
was being respectful.
Sorry.
Respectable, though.
He does. Like, he gets
know.
off immediately, but, like, you can see it in his eyes that, like, he's just kind of like.
Chris Wisdom says there's a lot of upskirts. We didn't see a lot of Wonder Woman without her upper thighs and crotch being framed. Oh, well, I could say the same. I could say the same thing about Batman. Honestly,
well, actually,
I saw a lot of Batman crotch.
Well, I saw a lot of ass. What cracked me up was, like, there were so many shots of the hero drop. You know, the bend your knees drop. Mm-hmm. Especially the one coming off that it's not really like the cruiser. It's the one before it where, like, they all drop down, but they're dropping down like 4 feet.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought, like, that's a lot of male superhero ass happening right now.
Yeah.
There was just, I think, a lot of ass in the film.
Yeah. And a fair amount.
It's a matter of course.
And when you look at, like, how much Cavill was actually on screen, and then kind of pull out how much of that time he was just shirtless for no reason, I think we're at least equal.
But
if you want to see that, that's fine. If you want to be mad about it, I don't know. I wasn't. But then I wasn't sitting there going like, "Oh man, Wonder Woman's hot." She's Wonder Woman. I don't know. I'm not.
That wasn't the focus for me.
I don't care. Whatever.
Not at all.
Yeah, they can put those, like, blue pants with the stars on. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah.
Cover her up. Armor her up. I don't care.
What else we got?
No male gaze here. All right. So, it has Whedon's trademark sexualization all over it. I don't agree with that. I know you're fans of his previous work. You're damn right. Mm-hmm. But anyway. As a side note, the costume controversy, I'm not sure I agree with, as it did not appear to me like the Amazons were shot inappropriately. I agree. Ezra is a great actor, but in places he also amped it up to 11 in terms of quirkiness. I'm fine with that. Again, most of it didn't really land for me. He also runs funny for some reason. Well, I mean,
Actually, I agree with that. That is a weird run. Kind of distracted me.
Yeah. It was weird.
A strange run.
It was a little weird.
Like, it was. That is because of the CW Flash. Because, like, every time he did his arm weird like that,
I thought he was going to throw the bolt.
Yeah. Right, so, yeah, there.
Yeah, let's see. Ray is a great character, and I liked him more than I expected, having been barely exposed to Cyborg. His booyah was well executed and fit with the tone and personality, so I was thankful that wasn't a jarring yell.
Fair enough.
Yep. Henry got a lot more screen time than expected, as his revival came pretty much halfway through already, which might have added to the rushed feel like there was no place to breathe, though I suppose others get to breathe in the funny bits. Dude, I thought the funny bits were funny.
The funny bits
he's quoting
were
funny, but I thought they were funny. I thought that it made the characters relatable, and I enjoyed it. I'm sorry. I missed the "I'll take that as a yes" line. I did too, and would have taken that any day over the "you smell nice" nonsense. I'm okay with "you smell nice."
I feel like they just didn't visually have it, so they had to do something else. I think that was just a matter of visually we don't have this and we can't afford to go back for it.
After BVS showcased her abilities, it hurt to see Lois reduced to a fangirl and being called thirsty by Martha. It undercut any gravity to their mourning and sympathy I had for her. I didn't feel that way at all. Just like explicitly calling her, having her call out that she wasn't strong and referring to herself as determined reporter Lois Lane, shining a lantern on it. A Green Lantern? Doesn't excuse how you barely resolved it with a voiceover at the end. Oh, I mean, the woman's in mourning, and who wouldn't mourn Superman? Batman more than Superman, for God's sake. I don't think it was a gender or sex issue here. No dying this time, and as long as you let me cover it. My God. I don't know.
I don't know what to do with that one. I'm sorry, bud.
Yeah.
It's
frustrating to see how there must have been something underneath this all, a more cohesive tone and admittedly one more to my taste. Yeah, maybe. That was butchered and watered down into a mainstream accessible pulp. I don't think that's true. I don't think it was watered down. I thought there was some really deep themes there.
I don't know. I thought this was pretty coherent.
Yeah,
and
I absolutely
there was
did.
some stuff going on.
Of course, I was excited beyond belief to see lanterns and those kind of Easter eggs that got me through. Is still seeing a bunch of characters together in ways I could have only dreamed of. I also love the end credit scene, though I was almost surprised they kept that intact. I'm completely unsure of how they'll pick that back up in the slate after all the changes. The mid-credit, that just tells me there's not a change to the slate, but...
well, also, like, picking it back up,
I don't think they ever dropped it.
They don't have an opportunity to drop it. They're doing separate movies again.
Yeah.
They've expanded their view. So we're back to separate movies. We're not doing a come together again for a second.
Mm-hmm.
The mid-credit scene was just Megan and very obvious fan service.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree, but I nearly cried. The opening iPhone footage
for a podcast
was completely useless to me. Leave the vlogging to Peter Parker.
Hey, they were kids, man. I stand by that scene. I like that scene, except for the Uncanny Valley stuff.
Except for the Uncanny Valley,
which wasn't
and
their fault.
I do understand they leave that to Peter Parker. It does. I get how that feels like it might be a ripoff of Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh, you know what? But if you're gonna go with BVS and show all the downsides to social media and to the endless news cycle of today's culture, I think it's totally fair to show Superman as a strong superhero with him just talking to some kids. In all
fairness, you did bookend it with Wonder Woman talking to some kids.
And and that was great.
Pretty basically the same manner.
Was great. I loved all the crooks all tied up with a lasso of truth.
So what happened?
I forgot that bit. Anyway, so what we were planning.
That was good.
Fantastic.
So what else? And speaking of the two scenes, I mentioned how annoying Soup's mustache was. Yes. At least it gave some certainty as to what definitely wasn't in Terrio's script. That's probably true. Probably got you there, Effie. The fight between Superman and the League and the Flash in particular was amazing, though. Hearing him jokingly say, "I want to die," however, was not, and the truth and justice quip felt forced as hell.
That was funny. Hearing him jokingly say, "I want to die." That was
part, "I want to die," was pretty fantastic. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
with the whole thing about the toes.
Yeah.
Totally hit for me.
Yeah,
I thought it was hilarious.
Too.
Even capping it off with the Wonder Woman thing about I work with children. Fantastic. Yeah. I thought that was a nice, tone. Also, it hits in a way that, look at any story about people caught up in actual warfare.
Mm-hmm.
They joke.
Yeah.
They joke because it's the only thing to actually do. Yeah. It's the thing to get you through a moment.
I'm not sure how the Mother and Unity talk relates to Darkseid's anti-life equation, but I'm curious to dig into the comic origins.
I did like that they kind of reference the idea. And even bring the alien, fauna into it.
I feel like that stuff is, going to be in a future movie, probably.
Also, part of me got all War of the Worlds on it and thought, you can't bring an alien plant. You're going to destroy the world.
Yeah.
We won't have an immunity to whatever pollen that has.
That might be something kind of cool later, though. Let's see. I have a lot to say, evidently, and I'm sure we'll be having plenty of conversations in the future. That is to say, after I see it again with my mother for our new review episode. I refuse to tell her my opinions beforehand, so she'll probably just love it. They're really great. You should check those out. Stealing the Remote. Eli and his mom, Patricia. It's a fantastic show. Kind regards, Eli Operators from Stealing the Remote. Thank you, dude. Thank you for letting us know what you thought. I disagreed with a fair amount of it. I'm sorry. Eli does our opening for our show.
Mm-hmm.
Long-time listener. Fantastic.
We have
just can't agree
generally agreed. But,
we have generally agreed, absolutely, but not this time.
This may be a moment where we're not on the same page.
But anyway,
we'll see where we are in a month.
You know, we talk clearly.
In a month, we could be like, Effie, I totally get you. It was terrible.
We clearly talked to
How did I ever love it?
We clearly, have fan interaction here on the show. So, write into us. We'll talk about it on the news episode we do weekly. And I think we're going to wrap it up. I think we're done. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening for the audio people. And we're on Twitter, DC On Screen, Facebook. Obviously, if you're watching it, you know that already. And
Wayne, I agree.
yes, it's nice to see you playing with others. And, Wayne says, just like Marvel. You know what? I don't have a hatred for Marvel like so many DC fans. I think it's...
no, I love this one.
I love that they're doing different tones on Marvel. That's
Sure.
what I hope for DC. That they're doing a lot of different tones and doing more stuff with the actual directors and letting different tones. Like, I don't mind different tones and different director visions, but, I feel like Jeff Johns needs to be there. Diane Nelson, God help us. God help me for saying it, because I never thought it would be me saying that about her. But God help us. Diane Nelson and Jeff Johns need to be there to steer the ship and say, like,
provide
let's rein
some
in
continuity
some people.
to it.
Yeah.
Like, you want each film to feel like a different film, but you want there to be some common thematic representation.
There needs to be cohesion. The characters need to be the characters. I love BVS. I still think the extended cut of BVS is my favorite of this universe so far.
I don't know. This made it,
but
I think this
this movie made it better.
It actually did make BVS a little more rewarding in retrospect, and I think this is now my favorite of the DCEU films.
So, even though I liked a lot of elements of Suicide Squad, that's the only one I would actually consider a dumpster fire. In any real regard, I did like Suicide Squad. I did enjoy it. I'm sorry, but it wasn't good. I know it wasn't good. I was sitting there going, "This isn't good," but I'm enjoying it. So, look.
I think I called it a lot of fun, but it has problems.
But ultimately, yeah.
It had a lot less problems with that extra 13 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
It was.
So, Justice League, fantastic for the most part. I don't know. Come listen to us. DC On Screen. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. We're all over the damn place. Google Play. And until next time, which is just going to be a few days for us, I guess. We're going to throw some news together. And
we'll probably do like another Justice League something.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about this again. If they do an extended cut, we'll review that.
Of course.
And we'll be
Tis
answering.
our nature.
We'll be answering people. We'll be probably responding to iTunes reviews that tell us we're not real DC fans or some such shit because we like some Marvel and whatever the hell. Anyway, guys.
There's no right in the world anymore. So,
hey, Deej Ben Hollow of Nerdtokolips. I'm sorry, we gotta leave. We've been doing this for an hour and a half. We gotta go. But this will be up. You can watch it or you can listen to it as you normally do.
Get in touch with us.
Get in touch with us.
Also, like,
What?
we're gonna, ask us as many questions as you can think of.
Yeah, ask us as many questions as you can think of. We like I said, we do respond to everybody's responses if they're legible. Like, absolutely, we liked it. Deej Ben Hollow, absolutely, we liked the movie. We was 7.5. You gave it like what, an 8, 8.5, something?
8.4, 8.5 or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Thought it was damn fine, and I don't know. DCOnScreen.com. Until next time, guys, keep some DC on your screen, or in your ear, or whatever the hell. Love you. Bye.
And the recording ends.
Our opening narration was from Dan Jurgens' The History of the DC Universe, Part 3 of 10, as featured in DC 52, Week 4. It was performed by me, David Z. Robertson. Intro music by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band Future Elevators can be found on Spotify or future-elevators.com. Our introduction was performed by Eli Ophelders of Stealing the Remote, which lives on SoundCloud and can be found on iTunes and Stitcher. We're a proud member of the Giant Size Team Up Network, GiantSizeTeamUp.com. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. Visit maladjusted.tv for more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy and improvised web series, vlogs, parodies, and more.